in the tradition, it will not surprise you that there is a lot of condemnation about those who use the Qur'an to legitimate esoteric interpretations that seem to do violence to the text. In other words, you're twisting the arm of the text to come up with esoteric interpretations. But much of what is said about twisting the arm of the text for esoteric interpretations as what Allah condemns applies with equal force to those who use the text of the Qur'an opportunistically. Think of the ethics of interpretation. Those who recognize what they desire and then work backwards from what they desire to the text of the Qur'an are abusing the text of the Qur'an in very much the same way as those who are corrupt, who ibtigha' ta'wil al-Qur'an, meaning they are not recognizing an integrity to the text and an integrity to the author of the text, but effectively replacing their own ego to the integrity of the author of the text. So they don't really think very much about God as a real author with a real intentionality, but rather their intentionality is what matters. And as long as they can find words to sustain their intentionality, then it's a go. That's not a minor point, people. This is what has been the murder of the Qur'an in the modern age. It's done for misogynistic reasons. It's done for power reasons. It's done by all types of mullahs and imams and shuyukh all around the Muslim world, all the time, every day, to hunt the territory of the Qur'an to find things that can feed the hunger of your ego is precisely what abusing the text of the Qur'an is. Rather than any systematic, principled study of the Qur'an that recognizes the intentionality of God as the authoritative standard, no one claims that they perfectly realize that intentionality. Obviously not. But it is the humility before that intentionality and the not taking, exactly sort of like hunting the territory of the Qur'an for verses you can prey on. And there are many ahadith from the Prophet ﷺ about jidal for Quran. So in one of these ahadith, for instance, the Prophet hears some Muslims in Medina, they're arguing about the meaning of a verse, and then he says, الذين يجادلون في القرآن فاحذرهم, or الذين يجادلون فيه, I'm missing a word, but anyway, that ما معناه that those who argue pointlessly about, and jidal here, it is not, of course, as you'll find in a lot of the tradition itself, it says, it's not saying that valid principled disagreements are condemned, but it's this exploitation, this egoistic exploitation of the text of the Quran in order to validate what you opportunistically wish to validate.